What are your top 3 destinations for your move abroad? In today's video, I'm going to share my top 3 choices, but not from today. I started this move abroad journey many years ago, back in 2016, I think, when everybody was talking about the RTW, round the world trips. Like today, we talk about slow travel and taking a gap here, but back then it was the RTW, it was the round the world trips. And I was fascinated with that idea. And so early on, I knew that I wanted to travel around the world and potentially move abroad. So today I wanted to share my top 3 destinations that were on my list and why they're not on my list anymore. So number 1 on my list was, you probably guessed it because I talk about it all the time, is France. France is always on my list because, again, I'm familiar with the culture. I speak French is my first language, and I've been there many times. I have my childhood friends there. I have family there. So it's an easy yes. It's an easy choice. It's comfortable, good food, good people, culture, all the above. So France has always been on my list of top places I want to move to if I were to leave the US. So France was number 1. Number 2 was Mexico lindo. Number 2 was Mexico because I went to Mexico several times for fun, but also for work. So during my PhD studies, I did some research on sustainable tourism in San Miguel de Allende and Guanajuato as well. And so I loved it. It was great. Even though San Miguel and Guanajuato were not really my type of town that I would want to move to because they are enclaved and also they're too small. They're just too small to me. And I felt like there was a lot of way too many expats. That's to my liking. Okay, I think it's a number 1 destination for American expats, and so I was like, probably not. So I just did a I wouldn't choose it today, but Mexico was it was a comfortable choice. Again, I'm fluent in Spanish. I just love the culture. I love the people and everything about it. I really love the food. Oh my goodness. Really good food. So Mexico was also on my top list, and after every time I visit, I would be like, you know what? I think we need to make this happen because Mexico is just the place to be. Not too far from the US, pretty affordable. Why not, basically, right? So it's an easy yes for a lot of people here in the US or even in Canada because it's great. It's different enough of a culture, but also it has so many, like, we are used to some aspects of Mexican culture by living here in the US and specifically in Texas. But at the same time, it's also different, right? So you want it to be different, but maybe not like, for those who are not super adventurous, maybe not like, oh, too different, right? And too far, or, things like that. But it's the perfect balance of familiarity and newness, right? It's something that's new and something that is still familiar and comfortable. So Mexico, number 2 on the list. Number 3 is a destination that was on my list back in probably 2013, 2014, when I started my travel blog. And one of the exercises that I did, because I had joined a blogging challenge by Natalie Sissons. For those of you old timers who have been in the industry for many years, let me know if you remember Natalie Sisson, the suitcase entrepreneur. And I participated in her 30-day blogging challenge. And I think it was on day 1 or day 2, I don't remember. She had us do a day in a life. And my day in a life was me living with my husband in the, drum roll, Dominican Republic. Dominican Republic. I was so obsessed with the Dominican Republic because Spanish again, right? And island living. I'm like, I'm in the beach every day. What? Of course, yes, it's a yes. And so I remember I wrote my whole day in the life description. I didn't have kids then, but I wrote down what the kids would be doing, like waking up in the morning, and the neighbors, what the neighbor's name, their dog's name, and what I would do during the day. It was, so to me, it was like, man, this is living. This is good, right? It's a The Dominican Republic was number 3 on my list. And so those were my top three. I have to add a fourth on the list because otherwise I wouldn't be a good African woman. I need to have my African pick in there on the list. And it's Cote d'Ivoire. I've never really been interested in South Africa for some reason. I think that one of the main reasons is because I hear that it's so similar to the US. And to me, not only because of the language, obviously, for English, but also a lot of the things that you have in the US, you would see there. And for some people, that's great. That's like comforting. But for me, it's like, I want something different, like still having good infrastructure, being comfortable and everything, but not necessarily that it reminds me of the US. Okay. So that's one of the reasons why I've never really been that attracted to South Africa. Do I want to go visit? Of course I do. But to move there, maybe if I go visit and then I'm like, you know what, this is the place, sure. But for some reason, it's never really been in my imagination of, okay, it needs to be on my go-to place. So Cote d'Ivoire was one of the countries on my list because again, it fits the things that are a priority to me. If you haven't watched the video about the 10 reasons why we want to move abroad, I'm going to link it up here. This is where I talk about the top reasons, and Cote d'Ivoire fits the bill when it comes to the reasons why we want to move and the things that are important to us. But recently, I also made another video about the top priorities for me at this time. Not like 10 reasons, but the things that are really important. There's 5, and I talk all about them in this video right here. So you can go watch it after this one. So yes, those were my top 3, starting with France, then Mexico, and then the dreamy Dominican Republic. Out of the 3, France is the one that still remains on my list. The Dominican Republic could still be on the list because of the island living and the language as well. I feel like Mexico is still a great choice. France definitely still on the list because it still meets most of my criteria, most of them, not all of them. And I've recorded a video where I go into more details about why France would absolutely work for us. But I'm going to also share another video where I talk about why France would not work for me. So make sure you watch that video right here. Till next time, bye.